he's the best guy pound for pound out there. He's done things nobody else has done. He's just a beast, and still just he's still the best guy out there.
Jon might take him down and ragdoll him on the ground, like, you know.
Jon easily could, because we don't know how good Jon is either.
And we also don't know what happens to Tom Aspinall in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds.
He's
we
never
have
been-
zero
because no one's gotten there.
No one's even gotten close.
Potentially, but the way that I look at it is he has failed a couple of drug tests. To me, that rules you out of being the best of all time.
Really?
For me personally, yeah, I think.
Does it make him a cheat?
Yeah, of course it does.
Alexander Gustafsson recently weighed in on Jon Jones's legacy, acknowledging Jones's past issues with steroids, but insisting that Jones never needed them to be the best. Gustafsson praised Jones's natural talent, calling him a beast and emphasizing that despite his controversies and poor decisions outside the cage, Jones remains a top pound-for-pound fighter and has achieved feats no one else has matched. Joe Rogan also discussed a highly anticipated potential matchup between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall, offering his breakdown of how the fight could unfold. Rogan agreed with Gustafsson's assessment, stating that he doesn't believe Jones intentionally used performance-enhancing substances and stressing that the sport needs a fighter of Jones's caliber.
He's been in that same situation a couple of times. This is not the first time, so
Yeah.
you know, it's just,
Well, he definitely is a wild.
he is. He is.
He definitely does. Probably shouldn't do, but
Yeah, 100%, man.
But I mean,
But the thing is, it's so stupid because he's what he is. He's the best guy pound for pound out there. He's done things nobody else has done. He's just a beast, and still just comes up all the time. He doesn't
Yeah.
even need that steroids. He doesn't even need that in him. He's still the best guy out there.
I don't think he took anything. I really don't. But I agree with you on that.
Tom Aspinall also shared his thoughts on Jon Jones's history with performance-enhancing drugs, making it clear he does not consider Jones the greatest of all time because of it. While Aspinall acknowledged Jones's elite skills as a fighter, he firmly stated that failing drug tests disqualifies anyone from the GOAT conversation. In Tom's view, using performance-enhancing drugs is outright cheating, especially when your opponent is competing clean. Although he said he doesn't believe Jones was specifically using steroids, Aspinall emphasized that PEDs are PEDs, and they create an unfair advantage. For Aspinall, true greatness isn't just about winning. It's about winning the right way.
Jon, let me first start by saying Jon is absolutely elite, and I completely agree with the notion that he's one of the best fighters ever.
Is he the greatest?
Potentially, but the way that I look at it is he has failed a couple of drug tests. To me, that rules you out of being the best of all time.
Really?
For me personally, yeah, I think.
Does it make him a cheat?
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah. If you're on steroids or whatever, I don't think he was on steroids, but he was on PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. If you're on PEDs and your opponent isn't, that's absolutely cheating in my book, unless you're both allowed to do it.
Meanwhile, Joe Rogan also discussed a potential matchup between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall, cautioning Jones about Aspinall's exceptional speed. Rogan pointed out that Tom is significantly faster than any other heavyweight, making him a serious threat. While Rogan acknowledged that Jones has faced fast opponents before, like Alexander Gustafsson and Lyoto Machida during his light heavyweight days, he emphasized that dealing with a 255-pound fighter like Aspinall is an entirely different challenge. Rogan also praised Jones for maintaining his dominance at the top of the sport across 2 different weight divisions.
You've never taken anything like
Absolutely not.
that? You never would?
When I retire, I will, yeah. Absolutely, to keep my body healthy, and your body stops producing testosterone after a while. To be a healthy older gentleman, I'll probably do some kind of testosterone replacement.
You're suggesting I should be pumping the steroids?
So. No, I don't think you should be on steroids, but I think I don't know a lot about the subject, to be honest. But I think when you fight in MMA, you absolutely shouldn't be using PEDs. No.
So should he even be allowed to fight you?
Yeah, if he's not using them now, yeah. Yeah, I think so, yeah, absolutely.
How do you think he'll feel when he sees you calling him a cheat on Uncensored?
I don't know. That's his
Do you
prerogative. Care? No, I'm not bothered. Jon Jones seems to get his feelings hurt a little bit.
Joe Rogan had high praise for Tom Aspinall, calling him a freak of an athlete. Rogan explained that while he's seen many heavyweights, including Francis Ngannou, who he described as the scariest and most powerful striker in heavyweight history, none of them move like Tom Aspinall. According to Rogan, Aspinall is significantly faster than any other heavyweight, and that speed presents a real problem. However, Rogan pointed out that Jon Jones is no stranger dealing with fast opponents. Throughout his light heavyweight career, Jones faced fighters like Alexander Gustafsson and Lyoto Machida, both known for their quickness. Rogan noted that Jones is already accustomed to handling elite speed, recalling how Machida, in his prime, was like a lightning bolt and managed to catch Jones several times during their fight. Still, Rogan emphasized the difference. Getting caught by a lighter fighter like Machida isn't the same as getting hit by a 255-pound powerhouse like Aspinall. Rogan further acknowledged Jones's greatness, stressing that even at this stage of his career, he cannot be underestimated. He highlighted that Jones's wrestling experience and overall fight IQ make him incredibly dangerous. And despite any doubts or questions, Jones remains one of the most formidable fighters the sport has ever seen.
Aspinall's a freak. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem. That's a real problem. But Jon has been used to fighting guys like Alexander Gustafsson, guys who are really fast at light heavyweight. So the speed is not going to be as much of an adjustment. Like, Jon's used to really fast people. He fought Lyoto Machida when Machida was in his prime. Machida was a lightning bolt, man. And he caught Jon a bunch of times. But then there's the thing of getting caught by Lyoto Machida is not like getting caught by 255-pound Tom Aspinall.
On the other hand, Jon Jones made it clear that he has no interest in fighting Tom Aspinall, stating that he doesn't like him and finds him annoying. While Jones acknowledged that fans might find Aspinall entertaining, he emphasized that, personally, he simply doesn't like him.
See, I think pound for pound, and we won't ever find out. I think Tom Aspinall's the best.
Who knows?
I think Tom beats him.
Who knows if Jon beats him? Jon might beat him up.
Yeah, he could.
Jon might take him down and can ragdoll him on the ground, like, you know.
Jon easily could, because we don't know how good Jon is either.
And we also don't know what happens to Tom Aspinall in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds. We have zero
because no one's gotten there.
No one's even gotten close.
There's so many question marks. Like, we don't know how good Jon is.
Right.
You can't tell me Jon's the best of all time, or he is the best GOAT, but you can't tell me he's the baddest heavyweight on the planet.
Despite the uncertainty, Dana White remains confident that the fight between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall will happen. He once again made it clear that this is the matchup the UFC is actively working toward. Addressing the recent conflicting reports, White stated, "Everything you hear is until we say it," reaffirming that both fighters are still being targeted for the bout. White emphasized that this is the fight the promotion wants to make happen in 2025. When asked if he was still as confident as he was earlier in the year, he responded, "Still super confident."
He's annoying to me. He's annoying to me, and that's my own personal. He annoys me. I get to you guys, you find it entertaining, but I find him annoying, and I just don't like him.
UFC legend Chael Sonnen also weighed in, clarifying that both Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall have already agreed to their potential clash. Contrary to media reports, Sonnen stated that Jones never backed down or refused a fight. While Jones did mention he would negotiate for a $30 million payday, Sonnen emphasized that Jones never flinched or hesitated once discussion started. According to Sonnen, the only holdup now is that the UFC is yet to finalize an official date.
Is obviously Jon versus Tom Aspinall. This week was a funny one. Someone reported that the fight's done, it's got a date, then the next day someone reported the fight's off, and Jon's not taking it. Where do we stand with that fight?
Everything you hear is until we say it.
So that fight is still the target for both men?
I've said it many times that's the fight that we want to make this year. Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, you said you were super confident. It's definitely going to happen. Are you still super confident?
Still super confident.
The
Chael
UFC
Sonnen
legend Chael Sonnen also clarified that both fighters already agreed upon the Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall clash. Contrary to what the media reported, Sonnen said Jon Jones never backed down or refused the fight. Jones mentioned he would negotiate for $30 million. But according to Sonnen, Jones never flinched or hesitated once the talks began. The only delay is that the company hasn't finalized the date yet.
Offers, Jones always says yes. Sonnen made it clear that any reports suggesting otherwise are simply not true.
2025. Jones and Aspinall is not going to be announced soon. Yes. Jones and Aspinall is done. It's actually contrary to the media. The athletes have agreed. It's the company doesn't have a date yet. The athletes. Jon Jones never backed down from that fight. That is not accurate. That was misreported. Jon Jones never said no to that fight. He talked about he was going to negotiate. He needed $30 million. He never got the phone call where he flinched. Just so you know.